Everyone, this is Jeff at Jolly Holidays, and the holiday season is coming up quickly. The time of this recording, it is August 2025, and I point that out because we're going to talk about AI, and AI is constantly changing, and it's changing so quickly that this video might be completely irrelevant in a month. But at least as of right now in August, I want to talk about Photoleap. If you're not familiar with Photoleap, it was an app on your phone that you could use. It wasn't its primary purpose, but many of us for the last couple of years were using it to create facades from our map or our Tuxedo snapshot. So you could take, for example, your snapshot like this from your Tuxedo system, or if you had a line tracing from that, you could upload it into the app and create different facades that you could then use as a foundation layer for your projects, for your projection mapping. Sad news is that Photoleap has discontinued support for Android, and so those of us that are using Android can no longer use it. And so I've been trying to find an alternative to use since I have an Android. And I honestly haven't found one yet that I like as much as I did Photoleap, all things considered. The relatively low cost, the ease of creating the facades, how good they looked. I've tried a few others in the past, and Photoleap is always the one I liked best. So what do we do now? I don't know if I have a good answer yet. So I'll show you what tools I've been looking at and what I've been playing with. If you're aware of something better, then let me know in the comments or message me so that I can try to find a good alternative. Okay, so the first tool that I thought I would try um, was MidJourney because I already have a subscription to MidJourney. I use it a lot for images, and it can actually do reasonably good videos now too. So if I could do it within MidJourney, that would be a good alternative. In the past, though, I haven't really liked its results when I've tried to do facades. It just hasn't worked very good. But with the help of ChatGPT, I thought I'd try it again, see if it's just a matter of prompting. If I could get a better prompt, then maybe I'll get better results. So if we look at this example. So this is a house that I wanted to put a facade on, and I actually used ChatGPT to help me craft the uh, the prompt. And once I did that, it was getting better results. This is supposed to be kind of a Victorian, Scrooge Dickens type of look and feel, and it's much better than what I've run into in the past. So that's progress. Look at a couple of other examples here. This one's more a cartoony version of Scrooge. Something that could be his office. Other times it still looks kind of crappy. Like I don't really like how these ones turned out. They're too dark, and so I think this tool will work. I think the prompts are really going to be important, and I don't have good advice yet on how to get the good prompt other than I use ChatGPT and it's been helping me craft it. So that's tool number one that I've been running with. The next one I was playing with is Run Diffusion. Stable Diffusion is something, as I understand it, that you can install on your computer, but Run Diffusion is cloud-based. And so it's about, I think, the plan I was looking at was like $10 a month. And I think this one may end up being more powerful slash flexible once I learn how to do it. But I haven't done much with it. And I don't know if I want to add yet another subscription to my pile of subscriptions already. So I'll just show you the couple that I tried already with the same house. So this is one that I prompted, very similar prompt, Victorian style, and it got pretty good results there. What I noticed is that if it's off a snapshot from Luxido, it does pretty good because it sees that it's a house and it can paint over the top of it, have it look reasonably well. I didn't have as much luck when I started doing it from a line drawing because it didn't have that same point of reference. So let me find the line drawing I was using so I could show you. Or if I have some credits, I might be able to do, I think I have enough credits I could just do another one. So let's try snapshot first. And by the way, I should tell you how I got to this. From Run Diffusion, if you go to their Run It, I don't know what this is, if it's a model or if it's another tool or whatever, but Run It within Run Diffusion has a bunch of different tools that you can play with. And so there might be others in here too that'll work even better than the one I tried. I just haven't gotten very deep into it. The one I have been playing with was in painting. And so let's try one here. I've got a Luxido snapshot, and I'll put that in here. I'm going to use the same prompt, I think, for both. We're going to try it with a snapshot and with a line drawing. So let's run it and see what we get. Oh, I forgot I got to do a mask. Add in painting mask. It wants to know where I want to paint this thing. This is a step we didn't have to do in Photoleap here. There we go. Now we can run it. Yeah, it didn't do too bad. With the snapshot, it was able to recognize kind of what was what. And so I think this one would work fine, especially if I tweak the prompt to get it to where I want. Let's try it with a line drawing next. That wasn't too bad, but we start to see kind of the similar problem that I had with these other line drawings, in that it wasn't sure quite how to handle it since it wasn't a photo. So if it's straight on, it will make it easier. But like this one, the map, if you can see, is kind of small, is at an angle, and the resulting image is completely flat perspective, and so I just didn't know what to do with it. And so my initial impression, without diving too deep, is that if you have a snapshot, then this probably will work pretty good. If you have a line drawing, it might take a little more finagling to get it to look right. And so that is Run Diffusion using the In Painting Pro tool. And depending on if I want to pay the $10 a month, then I might play with some of these others and see. So if you know of a specific tool within here that works better, let me know. The next thing that I was playing with was ChatGPT. I was kind of hoping that with the release of GPT-5 that it would get better at doing the facades, but they didn't change the underlying image model. It's still using Dolly. And because of nuances, limitations with Dolly, it was struggling to get the facade um, in the right resolution and without cropping it. In fact, it would not only change the resolution, it'd be a different aspect ratio as well. So making it line up just ends up making it more difficult. And just as a word of warning, if you just ask ChatGPT if it can do it, ChatGPT lies sometimes. It often will say, yeah, I can do it. And then you try it and it doesn't do it right. And you say, hey, make sure it's the right resolution or at least the right aspect ratio. And it's like, okay, yeah, sure. And then it tries it. And I have not yet successfully gotten it to do a 1920 by 1080 that doesn't crop it, that keeps it the way it was supposed to. So here's an example of a house. This one is closer than most, but this image that it produced, while it looks good, is not the right aspect ratio. So then once I put it in my project, I'm going to have to do more tweaking and finagling in order to get it to fit. So once they get that fixed, I think ChatGPT is going to be my preference because it's so much easier to create images in here. You can just tell it what you want. You can tweak it. And so I think this is really close. I think it's really close to being able to work. It just hasn't worked consistently for me yet because of the underlying model. This is another example where it kind of cropped it. It also tends to do it too dark sometimes, but so that'd be the other option is to you can try this if you already have ChatGPT, see if you can get it to fit your map, um, or use it to help you create prompts using those other tools. Now, I asked it kind of what was happening behind the scenes for Photoleap, and it was able to give me some clues. Uh, how it takes the original image and it's effectively just painting it on the top, but I don't really know how useful that is. I really just want to find something that's affordable and easy to use. And so some of the ones it recommended was Stable Diffusion, which we were looking at. And it looked and a couple of others like Photoshop plus Stable Diffusion, but then that's still Stable Diffusion. I haven't looked at Clip Drop yet, or any of these others. Canva I did try. Um, it didn't look good. I think I have an example here. So here was my attempt in Canva because I do have a Canva Pro license as well. And it was garbage. It didn't look good at all when I used it. These are the different versions, and none of them were very good. So those are the things I've looked at so far to try to find alternatives. Photoleap. My preference right now is MidJourney, so I don't have to have an additional subscription, and I just have to make sure I get the prompts done well. I think once I get more familiar with it, Run Diffusion is probably better, and I might decide that it's worth the extra money. We'll see. Then ChatGPT would be my third. It would jump to first if they can resolve the issue with the underlying resolution aspect ratio stuff. Which, side note, is kind of unusual because I can create images that are 1920 by 1080. It just doesn't seem to be able to do it off a map or snapshot for some reason. But I've created textures as part of my custom GBT that I brought up, where you can create different assets for your projection mapping. But so I don't know. I don't know why that'd be my number three, and then Canva. I don't think that's really worth looking at too much. Another tool that you can consider for facades is something like a Lumabot. And so it's not just a web-based tool like the other ones we were looking at. It's a full-blown system for doing projection mapping. And so it's a standalone device that can help you take a picture of the house, apply the facade. It can do images as well as some videos. And so I've got another video on that. And looks like they've been making a lot of changes very quickly. So I need to probably do an updated review because it looks like now you can start putting together some entire shows as well, which is cool. So I'll have to do another review on that soon. Then I guess the last resort, which takes the longest, but it also gives you the highest level of control. Then the last option, which does take the longest, but it gives you the highest level of control, is the quote old-fashioned way, where you just build the facade yourself. And it looks something like this. For this map, I've got three surfaces, and so I've got a texture for each one that I have power pinned or corner pinned to make sure that it matches the perspective. So it does take some time, takes more skill. Not a lot, like you could still put together a pretty good facade. Then you could add your own windows and doors and kind of customize it how you want. I've got our Patreon file share here that has, let's see how many images we have in here now. So over 3,000 images, windows, walls, textures, things like that, so that you can create your own facades. So that's another option too. And in the end, if I can't get what I want from AI, I default to that and build my own. So there you go. Let me know what you're using, what you're having success with, and we'll catch you on the next video.